Colourful things are so much more fun. But why does food colouring have to contain so many ingredients we can't even pronounce? In today's video, we're going to explore natural ways to colour food, and in particular, in buttercream icing. Hi, I'm Taryn. Welcome. I love food, plating and presentation. Isn't there a saying, we eat with our eyes? Well, in today's video, we're exploring natural ways to colour icing so that we can enjoy beautiful colours without the artificial ingredients. Well, this icing isn't going to colour itself, so let's get into it. When thinking about different colours you're wanting to create, think about foods that are that colour, and this will point you in the right direction. For example, if you're wanting a pink or red colour, raspberries, plums and beetroot come to mind. Coffee powder or cocoa would make brown and add lovely flavours. Carrots and turmeric for orange and yellow tones. Silver beet or Swiss chard, or even spinach for greens. And red cabbage. Guess what colour this makes? And it's not red or purple. You can get two types of natural food dye, powdered or liquid. A powdered food dye can be a simple powder or spice like cocoa powder or turmeric. Or you can use freeze-dried foods which are pulverised to a fine powder like instant coffee or plum powder. I'll show you an example of how we can use turmeric to create a natural yellow colour. Let's mix a little turmeric powder and warm water together to create a runny paste. This will extract the colour, which is exactly what we're wanting. Then we'll add it to our buttercream. I'm adding a little at a time because you can always add more, but you can't take it away. If you added the powder straight to the buttercream, you'd have to add quite a lot to get the colour you want, but the flavour would be overpowering. Even with the amount of turmeric we've added, there's still going to be a slight turmeric flavour, so I'm going to add a bit of cinnamon to mask that flavour. The cinnamon is close enough in colour, it's not going to have any effect on our nice yellow. I think this icing with its warm colour and spicy tones would really complement a pumpkin flavoured cupcake. It'd be perfect on a cold winter's day with a cup of tea, wouldn't it? The other type of natural food dye is a liquid. Liquid food dyes need to be a thick, syrupy consistency. You can achieve this by reducing the liquid down. Reducing allows the water to evaporate while boiling, and you'll end up with a very concentrated colour. For the other colours I'm doing today, we're going to be extracting the colour from vegetables by boiling, reducing and pureeing until we're left with a tiny amount of concentrated colour. What about trying a natural red colouring? To make this, let's peel some fresh beetroot. Chop it up a little to give it a bit more surface area to draw colour from, but not so much that you lose half the colouring on the chopping board. Bring it to the boil and let it bubble away. You can tell this is going to give us a pretty strong colour when the water has turned this red already. Let it boil until the liquid has reduced to about 1 tablespoon worth. Then take out the beetroot pieces. Let's add some of this to some buttercream. It's a lovely pinky red colour. If we add more, it's still a pinky red colour, but slightly darker. This is a beautiful colour though, without any hint of beetroot flavour. There's no hard and fast rules with making natural food colourings. You just have to experiment and work with what's happening in your pot. I wonder what will happen if we try mixing some of the red we've just made with some of the yellow we made with turmeric. Do you think we might get an orange? This makes me feel like I'm back at school learning about mixing primary colours to create other colours. This really is where the fun begins. Being able to mix colours and create different shades of colours opens up a whole new colourful world. To get darker colours, we'd have to add more colouring. But to be perfectly honest, to get really vibrant colours from artificial colourings, we'd have to do the same. With artificial colourings, this can result in a bitter taste. But with our natural food colourings, you'd really have to be adding a lot for the flavour to become noticeable. To give you some idea, apart from the strong turmeric taste, none of the others I'm making today have any trace of flavour of what they're made from. Let's try some green. I have some fresh silver beet, which I'll thinly slice. While we're talking about thinly slicing things, I'll leave a link in the description below to a video on basic knife skills, which you might find helpful. Then add a little water and bring it to the boil. I've got 2 big silver beet leaves and about half a cup of water in here. Once it's wilted, we can add it to a small blender, both the leafy bit and the liquid, and blend it until it's smooth. Now I'll strain it through a fine sieve. Clearly I've added too much water to this, and it's not a puree like we need it to be. It's not even thick and syrupy, so I'll put it back on the element and reduce it down. And see this green bit here? That's exactly what we need to use as our colouring. Isn't it a lovely green? Let's add it to our buttercream and see what shade we get. At the end of this video, I'll put these icings we've made onto some cupcakes so you can see how good they all look together. I do love this almost apple green colour it's created. Adding a little yellow icing might make it more of a lime green, but I'll let you experiment with that yourself. The last colour I'd like to try today is blue. To do this, I've got some red cabbage. This sounds crazy, doesn't it? Anyway, let's shred some up and put it into a pot. Add some water and bring it to the boil. Wow, watch how quickly the water colours to a deep purple. It's been boiling for about 15 minutes, so let's strain off the liquid and discard the cabbage. Look how faded it's looking. All that beautiful colour has gone into the water, which is exactly what we want for our dye. Now we can put it back on the heat and rapidly boil it to reduce the liquid right down to about a tablespoon. Here comes your science lesson for the day. Red cabbage contains a water-soluble pigment called anthocyanin, which changes colour when an alkaline like baking soda is added. So when we add a little amount, about 1/4 teaspoon, it'll change our purple liquid to a bluish colour. Look how amazing that is! Making natural colourings is probably one of those things where no 2 batches will ever be exactly the same. Once this is cooled, we can add it to our buttercream and see what type of blue we get. Remembering our buttercream is already a slightly yellow colour from the butter, I think this is a lovely blue. It seems so bizarre that we've made it from red cabbage. It seems like making natural colours is a little bit more effort than just buying some food colouring from the store and putting it in. But isn't it amazing that we can do it naturally? We'll have to accept the fact that the colours aren't quite as intense as their artificial cousins, but the fact that it's natural is a win. I've put all these colours into some piping bags so we can put it onto some cupcakes and let the colours speak for themselves. I'm very interested to see what happens if I take these to an event or serve them to a bunch of kids. I don't think they'd ever know what's actually in the colourings. Look at all these lovely earthy tones. Don't they look great together? Well, there we have it. Red, orange, yellow, green and blue. We almost have the rainbow. These natural colourings would go really well on my vanilla cupcakes. Here's a video to show you how to make and decorate them. A moist vanilla cupcake with naturally coloured buttercream. Sounds fantastic with a cup of coffee, doesn't it? Happy colouring!